Welcome to Manny's TV Talk, where we will talk about all of our favorite reality TV shows and news surrounding them. Grab a snack, a drink, and get comfortable because this starts now. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 14, Episode 2. Let's get right into this.
So, yeah, I enjoy her. Maybe that makes me disloyal, but can't help it. I do. I like her. Sorry.
Listen, I think you're awesome.
Okay, so we start the episode seeing nice little clips of the women with their family at home. The first actual scene is Danielle. She, her husband, and kids go to a photo shoot because Danielle's little daughter has a lot of these types of photo shoots, and we actually saw a little of that last season. Danielle says that she has now signed with some agency, so they're there taking pictures. It was nice seeing Danielle and her husband just be there. They were very excited about the little girl modeling and taking these pictures. Danielle then says that she was invited to Fashion Week in New York. If y'all remember, she has a boutique, which we also saw last year. So it's really amazing for her to have been chosen and for her to design some pieces of clothing for the New York Fashion Week. Also, Nate, her husband, I didn't know this, but about 6 years ago, he had like a massive brain surgery. Couldn't walk for a while. It was a lot, but thank God he's okay now. So she kind of wants to celebrate that he's alive. So they're going to be throwing a little get together. Also, Danielle doesn't talk to her dad anymore. So this Danielle doesn't talk to her dad and to her brother, but she always says that it's the other people's fault. I remember last season when she talked about cutting out her brother, it was suspicious. And now with her dad, that's also very suspicious. I don't know what's going on there. Okay, moving on, Dolo and Pauley. So Dolores has moved in with Pauley, and she's now working on getting her real estate license. That's amazing. She has some experience flipping houses with Frank in the past, so that's kind of good. Dolores tells him about Danielle's event, which is it's going to be at the shore. That's really exciting. We then see Teresa. So her and Louis are getting dressed because they're going to be going to an event that night. Louis' father is celebrating 8 years of being sober. That's amazing. Teresa is also a little emotional that Gabriella is going to be leaving for college soon. She says that Gabriella is like the rock of the house. As far as the next day for Nate's party, Teresa says that she will not talk to Margaret because there's an ongoing legal issue. Oh. Next scene is the Gorgas. Melissa reserved a nice restaurant for her daughter Antonia's 18th birthday. It was a nice restaurant, and all of Melissa's side of the family was there. Her mom, sisters, brothers, just everyone. There was a lot of people. They talk about some memories, like when Antonia was born and all that. Melissa says that she's going to miss her so much. She hugs her and gives her advice for when she goes off to college. Also, there's a couple who they're about to get married. They're related to Melissa, and Joe is going to be the officiator of the wedding. So they get emotional, and so does Joe. He says that he's so happy that Melissa's family has embraced him. We see Teresa and Gia. Gia is going to law school, as am I. She was talking about taking the LSAT and stuff like that. So then Danielle and Jennifer Aydin arrive. Teresa brought some sculpting procedure to the house. It's called M-Sculpt. There's like a technician there. They put it like in your butt. I don't know exactly what it does. I don't know if it hurts, but they were doing that. Danielle tells Teresa that she will be staying at Rachel's house when they go to the shore. Teresa says, listen, I don't tell people who to be friends with, so it is what it is. Meanwhile, Margaret goes to play pickleball with Rachel and Melissa, so they're playing, and Rachel also tells us that she has some sort of arthritis. When she was little, she broke her leg, her hips got... I don't know, a lot of medical conditions were being revealed this episode. Melissa then says that her mom just fell and got stitches. Her arm is broken. I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? Since they are also going to the shore for Danielle's party, Melissa says that she's going to throw a little birthday party for Joe. Margaret then asks Rachel, what did Teresa say about John at the party? And Rachel says that what really happened was that when John was 17 years old, he was selling weed and got arrested. That's it. So she is saying that Teresa is weaponizing what a child did. She also says that Teresa is the actual adult criminal. She calls her a piece of bleep and has nothing for her. Then it is time to go down to the shore. Melissa has her own house there, as does Jennifer. So Teresa and Dolores will be staying at Jen's house with their spouses. Margaret stays at Melissa's, and then Jen Fessler and Danielle will be staying at Rachel Fuda's house with their husbands as well. So the Fudas are still very upset at Teresa. Jen Fessler says, listen, I'm not really close to Teresa, so I don't know. Jen says that people in this group just keep going lower and lower, so she kind of just sees this as like everyone doing this, but Rachel's like, no, what she did, it wasn't just crappy, it was really effed up. Then Danielle comes into the house. It's nice that her and Rachel are now getting along, but Danielle does tell them, like, let's just try to make it nice tonight because it's about Nate. John says, well, when someone pushes you, you have to fight. But everyone starts to get ready for the party. Also, Danielle still doesn't like Jackie Goldshneider because remember, she was making fun of her clothes and her appearance and everything, so that's why she's not here. She wasn't invited. So Nate's party was really nice. It was a great turnout, good food, decorations. Danielle introduces a friend of hers and who was mic'd up, and they kept showing her. So that's interesting. They don't just show someone repeatedly and have them in conversations if they're not going to maybe bring them on later, because they kept showing her and the husband. Margaret was bragging about being the second wife every time she's gone into a marriage. That's crazy. And then they're kind of just filling everyone, that new friend that they just introduced, they're filling her in about Jen Fessler's crazy party. So then Teresa, Louis, Jennifer, Aydin, and Dolores walk in. The vibes definitely changed. I will say though, Margaret and Jennifer Aydin are getting along. It doesn't look like they're gonna have problems this season. Danielle she got a choir from DC to come down and sing. Everybody was dancing and having fun. So they're just, dancing, eating. It was honestly a pretty good party. Alright, so to end the episode, Teresa then grabs Jen Fessler. She asks her about this meetup that Margaret had the night before the reunion, and Teresa wants to know why that happened. So Jen Fessler starts to spill the beans about the meeting. She says that they did meet at Margaret's house. It was Margaret, her husband, Melissa, Joe, Jen, John, Jackie. It was a whole lot of people. So they were prepping on how to execute their evidence, recordings, receipts, all that. Teresa then says to Jen, well, someone heard you say, quote, y'all didn't execute the plan correctly. Jen says, no, I didn't say that. But what I did say was that, they brought all these manila envelopes and all this stuff that they were not open at the reunion. They didn't actually show them and expose them as they said they would. But what Jen does say to Teresa is that when the day that Louis called Margaret's son, she was on the phone with Jen Fessler and she sounded like hysterical, like it sounded like very real. But Teresa then swears on her 4 daughters that it's not true. Listen, Teresa, I wouldn't do that if I were you, because you might believe Louis, but don't put your daughters' lives into it. I mean, swearing on your daughters' lives on something that you didn't do, because you can only speak for yourself. So I was like, wrong road. Jen then brings up what Teresa said about John being a drug dealer. She was like about to tell her that it wasn't cool for her to say that, but Jen really likes Teresa, so she kind of just ends up joking with her at the end of it. And you could really see Rachel, Margaret, and Melissa kind of losing their minds and just so confused as they saw Jen being so close to Teresa. I think that out of all of them, Rachel was very upset, and she even said towards the end, wow, I can't believe I thought that maybe Jen Fessler was going to be someone who I could trust. So we're kind of already seeing how this is really dividing the cast. So I can't wait to see next week's episode. You guys, let me know what you thought about this episode. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. You have a great one. Bye.